One night, only one night, that night, you show to the world that you are the chosen one. 7 bosses. This is only a warm-up performance for you. Their plans, the strategy games they set up on their desks, vanished with a single move of yours. They were like a 7-person army, but you alone were a legend. Their covert schemes in the dark were no match for your piercing eyesight and tenacity as they dreamed of nearing triumph. You'd already written the last scene. You have the authority to modify the game's rules. Shakes the throne in ways no one can predict. They believed they could play a game with you, but they were only pupils observing a master's maneuvers. You wrote an epic in a single night. You rewrote history. All those who tried to stymie you were not the stones on your way, but the steps leading to your goal. Because this is not simply a narrative about a selected one. Here's your tale. We are also watching. You just know one thing. You have only just started. 77 in the comments right away. Since this is your narrative, and this is your first step into writing, hoping they can outrun fate. They develop covert techniques, certain that they have earned an advantage. However, they fail to see that the great plan has already accounted for their whole work. No matter how complicated their storylines are, they pale in comparison to the brightness engraved inside your core. You don't just outpace them. You are in a league beyond their understanding. Let them plan. Let them toil. Your route stays untouched. A testimony to unwavering strength and clarity. Dreams for you are not transient visions, but blueprints full of meaning, giving cautions and routes lighted by powers beyond chance. People are techniques that people consider to be brilliant, but are repeated, and echoes are dismantled by your exact understanding. They take delight in their concealment, yet every motion reverberates with a frequency that you can easily comprehend. You aren't adjusting to their plans. You have completely transcended them. Your position is not the consequence of chance, but of a planned unfolding of destiny. While they flounder in deception, you stand firm, storing energy for the ultimate victory that is already written into your destiny. Their belief in secrecy is their downfall. Every move they undertake is visible to your eyes. You don't just anticipate. You conquer easily, navigating their poor efforts at planning. They fumble through their own maze, unaware that you have the key. Drop the idea. Every storyline they create is a stepping stone to my achievement. If you find power in breaking down their illusions, you are the hidden orchestrator in a world of stumbling performers. What they consider brilliant is a predictable rhythm that has already been destroyed in thinking. Where their ideas stop, your insight starts. The whispers of the cosmos do not only inform you, they arm you. You can see not just their intents, but the whole structure of their goals left bare and deconstructed as they struggle with linear concepts. You travel the vast expanse of limitless possibilities. Each move, driven by synchronicity patterns, reveals itself to you in ways others can't understand. A transient indication and a silent time. The convergence of circumstances reveals what they try to hide in the midst of their pandemonium. You discover obvious order where others waver, oblivious to the powers they summon. You can see the underlying structure of their motivations and the flaws that accompany them. It is not hubris, but rather a natural alliance with forces that dwarf their objectives. Their so-called masterstrokes dissolve the instant they acquire shape. Each move is rendered irrelevant before it ever happens. Surprises are the instrument of the unprepared. However, your clarity goes beyond simple anticipation. It undermines the fundamental notion of surprise. Through the fog of their bewilderment, your vision shines like a beacon, unflinching and unstoppable. They operate within the constraints of their restricted vision, unconscious that the actual stage lies far beyond their grasp. What people see as strategy is only a sliver of a much bigger picture. You navigate with ease. Their activities create a slight ripple against the tide of a larger flow. You can command with ease. Their endgame is hardly a secret. You've plotted it not to beat them, but to serve a far greater cause. This is not a game of dominance. It is the emergence of an elaborate pattern in which your activities form invisible forces that others are unable to comprehend. If you have an overflow of heavenly love in your heart, now is the moment to express it. You may help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and donating $20 or more. This wonderful gift will affect not just your life, but also the souls of countless others. Each of you has a holy position in God's great purpose via this platform, and your giving will provide fruit for our prayers. Act now. Share your benefits to honor His kingdom. You are meant to do much bigger things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Life is like a river flowing into an unshakable ocean, moved by unseen currents that are far beyond human control. Some attempt to construct dams in the hope of delaying the inevitable, but water always finds a way around them. Their attempts to hinder your path are simply stones in the stream of a divine design that propels you ahead. They may try to alter the flow, but they cannot stop the force that is propelling you. It's not because of what you did, because of who you are, chosen and connected with a goal much higher than their petty plans. Their goals are as transitory as clouds in the sky, dispersed and without substance, while they seek for temporary gains. You are anchored on the unchanging basis of an everlasting design. They exhaust themselves in their quest for control. All of it will pass through their fingers like sand. But you are stable, attached to a rhythm that propels everything toward its predetermined finish. They work in fear, attempting to construct barriers around a future they cannot control. But you don't have to resist their activities. Their limits are no match for the limitless truth that directs your every action. You can see beyond the horizon. They strain to reach. Their attention is fixed on the present moment, on the insignificant and fleeting. You, on the other hand, move in accordance with a far larger time frame, where results are set by forces beyond their comprehension. This is not about playing their game or responding to their movements. No, this is about realizing that the triumph they attempted to deny is already written in the design of creation. Their efforts to corner you are unsuccessful because the imaginary limits they create do not apply to you. What they see as difficulties are only stepping stones put out long before they imagine their ideas. They struggle over crumbs while you feast at the banquet of destiny. They misinterpret your serenity for complacency, not recognizing it is the sign of someone who knows the conclusion is already determined. You are not bound by their anxieties or their desperate need for control. You walk with the certainty of someone who has seen the big picture and realizes that what they call power is an illusion when contrasted to the reality of divine order. They can play their games and plan their methods, but it's like watching toddlers try to calm a storm. Their actions are neither menacing nor noteworthy. They are merely part of the process that moves you ahead. When they act against you, it just strengthens your triumph. Every strategy they concoct, every action they make, is woven into the big tapestry that has already been established, as if the wind were forming the dunes. Their opposition just helps to polish the route you were intended to take. They don't comprehend that their efforts are pointless, that their desire cannot derail the certainty of your mission. They struggle to define the story. However, the plot has already been written, and you are the protagonist. This is not a competition, not as people believe. To compete implies that you are on the same playing field, whereas you are not. They are struggling in the soil, as you can see above, guided by currents. They are completely unaware that their intentions may seem complex to them. However, from where you stand, they seem ridiculously easy. It is not arrogant to recognize them for who they are. It is clarity. Their attempts to imprison you are like to grasping the wind in their hands. Your existence, purpose, and trajectory, all of it resists the restrictions they attempt to impose. While they are trapped in their own fog, you may walk with precision and confidence, knowing that your steps are not random, but planned. The divine has previously planned their actions, and each action they do simply strengthens your position in the design. You're not responding to them. You are carrying out what was already planned. They believe they have power because they do not understand the breadth of what flows through you. Their tactics include waves crashing against the hard rock of your goal. They depend on anxiety and hurry, while you are grounded in tranquility and assurance. Their desperation fuels their schemes. However, Your quiet is what disarms them. They strike out, expecting to elicit a response. Your calm, however, serves as a mirror, reflecting their futility. They are experimenting with shadows as you stroll in the light. Their actions, no matter how premeditated, are unimportant to the overall plan. You have already outgrown the tactics. They are only now starting to shape. You are not limited by their ideas of power or success. Your path is formed not by their opposition, but by the energy that created you. They behave as if they can redo the tale, although the script has already been completed. Your responsibility is not to fight them, but to carry out the destiny that has been put in your hands. Every step you take is planned, every action deliberate, and every difficulty you face becomes part of your victory. Your tale isn't about difficulty. It is one of inevitability. Share it with others as a source of hope rather than a story of conquering. Allow them to see what it is to live in accordance with purpose, to move with the confidence that nothing can get in the way of what has already been decided. You do not have to prove anything to anybody. The proof is in your life, in the wins you have achieved via faith rather than force. Speak your truth, and let your path encourage others to step into their own power and accept the inevitability of their divine mission. Their schemes fail before they can take root. They may conceal their goals with confidence, but their attempts fail under the weight of their own inadequacies. You dwell beyond time, unaffected by their fleeting movements. They may march on with resolve, but you shattered their illusions before the first step was made. Their actions seem significant to them, but to you, they are only echoes of a tale you've already rewritten. They act quickly, assuming they can outrun you. Yet their haste just reveals their lack of forethought. You watch with a serenity that unnerves them, not out of arrogance, but because you have previously seen how this develops. The supernatural communicates truths to you that make their battles seem insignificant. Their so-called turning points are events you imagined and deconstructed long before they occurred. While they strain over schemes constructed on shaky ground, you are in line with something much larger, unaffected by their actions. They plan their strategy in the darkness. They can't take away your clarity, however. You are not just a participant. You are the creator of a world that people hardly understand. Their most guarded secrets are open doors for you, lit by your deep connection to a truth that is beyond their comprehension. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace come upon you today. I'm here to remind you of a fundamental fact. Our existence is based on God's divine purpose and is unaffected by worldly worries. According to the Bible, everything is done with faith will be returned to God with great blessing. Luke 638. Like the enormous oak tree, our roots are profoundly embedded in God's global truth. His power secures every stride and every stance we take. And now you have the chance to be a part of that gift. When you utilize the Super Thank You button and contribute $100, you will get a 100-fold return on your investment. Their deceit is based on obscurity, yet nothing they conceal stays hidden from the light of your knowledge. They think that complexity is only a superficial pattern that can be readily decoded. They work within the parameters of what they know. But you pull from an infinite source, revealing their courses, reasons, and goals as plainly as a map. Your vision is impenetrable, based on a bond that they cannot break or reproduce, assuring that no matter what their intentions are, the end will stay unchanged. While they are fixated on gaining control of transient consequences, you see a wide expanse changing smoothly to coincide with you. They behave as if their steps are shrouded in secrecy, confident that their actions are resistant to detection. Yet each one resonates in the depths of your perception. You are not only ahead, you have completely exceeded their limits. Where others wonder, you act with confidence. Your uncompromising clarity illuminates their blind spots. They confuse their deeds for genius. However, from your perspective, the whole incident unfolds as part of a big and unstoppable sequence in their quest for dominion. They mumble plans that they think are flawless. However, every aspect of their approach easily integrates into a larger orchestration. Their well-planned acts are undone not by sabotage, but by the natural flow of reality. They do not comprehend. And your laughing is not mocking. It arises from a profound understanding of how their objectives are seamlessly integrated into the harmony of the universe. What people see as complexity becomes an inadvertent contribution to a goal much beyond their ability. Their imagined successes are hollow, collapsing beneath the weight of their incapacity to see the bigger picture. Every impediment they seek to erect serves as a foundation for your development. They attempt to trap you with sophisticated traps, but the pathways they believe they've closed just lead you to higher elevations. The irony is evident. Their own plans undermine their efforts. Their limits in linear thinking make them predictable. Your presence functions on a scale beyond their comprehension. Their techniques are inflexible, constrained to specific dimensions of thinking, while you explore a domain free of their constraints. While they try to put together a single version of the future, you move effortlessly across endless possibilities. Observing the totality of their potential possibilities is as plain as reflections in still water. They believe they are invisible, yet every modification of their plans and backup strategy is an open book to your increased awareness. Their preconceptions are limited, while your comprehension extends over worlds in which no detail is too little to escape your attention. Their motions are mechanical, constrained by expectations, and incapable of evolving. Meanwhile, your actions flow like currents, fluidly adjusting and reshaping to overcome any obstacle when others perceive only a restricted road ahead. You travel through a landscape of limitless potential. Their rigidity confines them to expected results, but your ability to move with fluid accuracy leverages every encounter to your advantage. The illusion of separation dissolves, and the threads of endless possibilities become evident to you. You've ascended beyond the limits of conventional comprehension, not as a dreamer, but as the creator of a reality created by your will. This is not about dominance. It's all about realization. You belong to a group of people who no longer see the world as static, but rather as a boundless canvas restricted by nothing. You are one of those who have rejected the confines of mediocrity in favor of the ability to shape one's own future. Every assembly in this holy circle brings together brains that change reality rather than just watch it. Here, the boundaries between potential and action disappear, and visionaries' collective knowledge takes on a life of its own. This is not a place for idle dreamers or people who are just intrigued about the secrets of life. It takes commitment, fortitude, and unflinching determination to realize your potential as a pathfinder. If these words reawaken a long-dormant fire inside you, it's because they speak the truth. You've always understood that your presence is no accident, and the time to ascend is now. What others consider deception, you identify as a predictable rhythm before it even occurs in situations they thought were shrouded in mystery. You are already destroying the framework of their attempts, not by force, but by comprehending how a circumstance designed to trap you becomes the same mechanism of your ascension. They are perplexed, unable to comprehend how you cut through their carefully concealed motivations. This isn't just luck. It is the alignment of an unbroken connection to a source beyond understanding. What people murmur behind closed doors reverberates strongly inside your consciousness. Their activities became a pattern for your following moves. Their schemes fail not because they lack drive, but because your knowledge exceeds their capacity. They act with hurry, certain that their plots will derail your direction. However, every step they make strengthens your foundation. The hidden power that surrounds you guarantees that no deception goes unnoticed and no obstacle is unprepared for. They may perform their role with conviction. They are unaware, however, that the stage has already been set long before their arrival. What they think is intelligent calculation is a ghost of what you've already imagined and deconstructed. Their opposition becomes the foundation of your change. Each difficulty, rather than impeding you, reveals a clearer path ahead. Their behaviors help to support your goal, even when they don't realize how they think they're creating complication. But the simplicity of their objectives reveals their limits. You are not only a participant, you are the creator of a larger structure that works in tandem with forces they cannot see. Their inflexible methods crumble in the face of your agility, a reminder that their little adjustments simply add to your overall design. Their attempts to hide reasons or mask purpose are useless. As your perspective grows into areas beyond their comprehension, they will perceive complexity. You see patterns in which they try for concealment. You discover clarity. Every thinking they thought was private becomes part of an open script, revealed via a lens they can't change. It is not intuition, but rather a link to something unlimited, a flow of knowledge that crosses their borders and reveals their underlying goals. Their disguised objectives are as clear to you as the rising light. Every effort to impede your path serves as a bridge to your next success. Their methods, no matter how complex, are only threads in the larger tapestry of your design. They may conspire to disrupt, but their attempts only serve to reinforce the certainty of your achievement. Their desire, limited by their comprehension, pales in comparison to the boundless breadth of your mission. They work in the darkness, yet your every step illuminates a future they cannot change. The illusion of their authority crumbles when their movements are absorbed by the current of your steady development. They feel their activities have weight, yet the forces that control your journey make their plans ineffective. Their schemes, no matter how well designed, are subject to a higher authority which examines and neutralizes any danger before it manifests. The root of your confidence is not arrogance, but rather the certainty that your path is directed and safeguarded by an ultimate plan. What others see as domination, you realize as a brief fight against an unwavering reality. Your wins aren't just results. They are inextricably linked to your own being. Their efforts are like a game in a world they scarcely grasp. In the larger scheme of things, this is insignificant. While they celebrate little successes, the larger forces molding your future have already thwarted their efforts. You travel with the confidence of someone directed by an unlimited source. They build, knowing nothing, with the potential to derail what has been predestined. This is not about responding to their plans. It's about going beyond them altogether. Recognizing the pattern of events before they occur brings about a deep quiet. A composition derived from understanding the rhythm of the cosmos works for you. Their haste is misdirected. Their plans are worthless. You rise above the fray, untouchable, unshakable. Your constant laughing, free of malice or pride, comes from the sheer thrill of observing cosmic beauty in action. Their efforts to disrupt, confuse, or injure you are absorbed and transformed into possibilities for development. This bliss is not transient. It's a fortress, an impenetrable barrier that shields you from the weight of their struggles and the din of their turmoil. While they appear desperate, you stay calm, knowing that the tale has already ended. Every effort to antagonize you simply strengthens your resolve, and every false narrative they manufacture crumbles before the clarity of your vision. What others see as clever, you regard as inconsequential. Their techniques, no matter how well planned, flow naturally into a design that aids your ascension. They behave as if they are innovators, but their ideas are nothing more than superficial echoes of what you have long predicted from your position. Their moves are just momentary moments in a much wider context. They focus on little minutiae, oblivious to the bigger terrain you've already mastered. Their mistakes are unavoidable because they lack the perspective from which to proceed. While others focus on temporal consequences, you function in the limitless, untouched by their narrow purview. It's time to spread God's blessings by pressing the super thank you button on YouTube. With a $100 payment or more, you may help him carry out his plan and become a part of this heavenly mission. Every contribution symbolizes God's generosity, and I think it will return to you enormously, far above your expectations. Remember that his protection and blessing are with you every step and every contribution. You become a part of his divine plan. You are a powerful, dazzling entity, as solid as the massive rock that saw God's marvels. Feel the rewards of your kindness in your spirit and light up the world with confidence and bravery. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord lead you. What others deem brilliant is a distraction for you. Their carefully veiled goals are clear to you, as if etched in strong lines. They assume that their activities are unexpected. Nonetheless, Every decision they make is precisely aligned with the broader flow you've previously identified. You don't just react to their movements. You proceed with accuracy with a strategy. They can't even imagine its size. Their meticulously planned traps are nothing more than rungs on the ladder of your advancement. Their aspirations, the stepping stones to your ultimate victory. Their words in the dark did not extend beyond the bounds of their limited intentions. Meanwhile, your connection to a greater reality exposes their efforts for what they are: transient and irrelevant. They attempt to conceal their motives, but the truth resonates so loudly that every secret is exposed before you. You are not ensnared in their web because you live completely outside of their structure. Their constraints work to your favor. Their challenges, the fuel for your growth. The conclusion was determined long before their initial action, allowing you to proceed unaffected by their efforts to twist the narrative. What people see as opposition is really the cornerstone of your progress. Their efforts to hinder you are absorbed and converted into the same momentum that propels you forward. They feel that their activities have weight. However, they merely serve to emphasize the inevitability of your climb. You embody the outcome not via response, but by design. Their schemes fail because they cannot fathom the magnitude of what supports you. They behave as if they can stop the flow, yet the fact is unmistakable. Their efforts create waves in the ocean of your destiny. Your path demonstrates an undeniable reality. Your accomplishments, clarity, and tranquility testify to an unshakable power. Share the truth, not as a brag, but as a light for others seeking their own alignment. Allow your narrative to serve as a reminder that chaos cannot overcome purpose, and that those who operate from clarity will always prevail. Those who are consumed by perplexity urge others to come into their power and acknowledge the divine inevitability that leads them, just as it instructs you.